So it's so important, Jen. I mean, it's one of those things where when we talk about the three foundational rules of investing, the first one is there is no such thing as a perfect investment. Sadly, if there was something that was totally safe and made lots of money, that would be great. But of course, that doesn't exist. So that's why we have to divvy your money up into different places. The second thing that I would say is, and this is something that is not talked about in the financial literature very often, but what actually matters most about investing isn't the rate of return. It's measured by whether you accomplish your goals. And that's where we need to talk about, what are you actually trying to accomplish? Are you trying to get rich? Or are you trying to make sure that you're never broke in retirement? Those are the kinds of things that you really need to stop and think about before you start selecting your investments. And then the last piece, it comes back to, kind of ties back around to some of the things that you and I talk about all the time, Jen, which is, where are you at in life? If you are far from retirement, then your goals are probably just to grow that money as much as absolutely possible. If you're in retirement, that's probably fairly straightforward too. You're probably trying to squeeze as much income out of your nest egg as you possibly can. You probably want to preserve that nest egg as long as you can, and you'd like to have some growth if you can. But a lot of experts say it's that middle phase when you transition from the early phase to the retirement phase that can be the trickiest of all. And so that's why we talk about that's really when a lot of people hire us, because they're trying to figure out, okay, I think it's time to get serious about retirement. I've got my money. The markets have been good most of the time. Is it still where it should be? And a lot of times it's time to start beginning that transition from one over to the other. And Jen, we've just had so many people come into our office, whether they've hired us or not, and they've gotten tremendous value out of that discussion, because they've started realizing, like, oh, I'm in a different phase of my life than I was, 5 or 10 years ago. And I need to be looking at this differently. And so that's once again why we offer our 5-step retirement review with no cost and no obligation to listeners of the show. We think there's value there to help you take a look at that with one of our planners and help you see if you are set up properly for your comfort with risk and also for where you're at in life. To get started, you just have to call us at 803-9-RETIRE. Once again, there's no cost or obligation. That number is 803-9-RETIRE.